You know, man, there was a situation you had back in the day with Lil Wayne, and you guys kind of ran up on his car, and I never really seen anybody really ask you about that, or at least it's been a really long time. So I just thought I'd get your take on everything about what happened.
Well, that was quite some time ago. I was quite a different person at the time, but the trigger to that little situation was, at the time, Lil Wayne had a record that was like playing on the radio, and he had a lyric that said, "Suwu gang, if you ain't with that, you from the food chain." And me just, metaphor, rap, MC, knowing that he's pushing affiliation, and then he's separating those that's affiliated with Suwu gang and calling them food chain. Food chain, I'm thinking about school, the ocean, and you know what you find in the ocean. I thought he was sneak dissing. So that was just something that was going around in my circle for a couple weeks. Like, what this nigga trying to say? This nigga trying to say, you know what I'm saying? Like he trying to say the C word on the low. Like, you ain't Suwu gang, you with the food chain. I'm like, trying to, so that was just a funny conversation that was around that. In the back of my mind, if I hit a corner, seen Lil Wayne, I'm gonna ask him about it. Like my perspective at the time was, we got a lot of Crip and Blood rappers that go mainstream and they refrain from dissing. Besides the specific projects like Banging on the Wax back in the day, your Mac 10s, MCAs, the people that stood on the opposite side of the spectrum never just dissed Crip or Blood. They just banged where they from and kept the dissing out of it. So I was thinking that Lil Wayne, out of town, not really from here, was like being a little too slick, and just wanted to be able to ask him man to man if that's what he intended. Was that so he could at least tell me I was, reaching or thinking too in it. I just wanted to know if he was really standing on that Suwu gang. So it just so happened, to make a long story short as I can, he ended up coming to my location where I had a studio on the same property. He came to shoot a video with T-Pain. And instead of me getting an opportunity to approach him one-on-one, I ended up being with a large group of individuals. And that group included 40 Glocc. And I'm not gonna lie, the group had intentions on going around the corner and doing something damaging to some extent. When we hit the corner, they was in a dead end, 2 SUVs. It was actually Baby and Slim in the SUVs. They had just dropped Lil Wayne off at the video shoot, and they were leaving. And when we encountered the SUVs, we kind of approached the SUVs with intentions to do quite a few things. However, 40 Glocc was going live at the time on a kite phone, KYTE. He was one of the first persons I ever knew to have one. It was like way back then, it was the ability to go live stream like we do now on YouTube or IG. He was doing it off a kite phone. So all the people we had there ready to smash shit didn't want to do nothing. They like pointing at cuz with the kite phone. And even while you saw him amongst us pushing the line and hollering at the trucks and everything, he was holding the phone up. It's not just a phone that he's recording with, that he can have footage for and later be selective at what he releases. This motherfucker was live streaming in real time. So it turned out to be somewhat of a circus, a parade of, looked like a bunch of hoodlums throwing a tantrum without any direction or purpose is what it turned out to be. And I take that on the chin because now I kind of realize, which I wasn't focusing on, ain't no telling what kind of case we would have caught that day, what type of damage would have been done had 40 Glocc not being so eager for attention that he went live when we was going around the corner with our mind frame on doing some pretty destructive things. He wanted attention so bad and to entertain his audience. He went live. He thought it was cool to go live throughout that process, which was really goofy to me. But in the long run, it caused us not to really fuck up, and it saved us from perhaps getting in trouble with the law. So it turned out for the better.
Did you ever get any clarification on what happened or what he said or what he
Nah,
meant or
never,
anything?
no, because the whole little thing blew up outside of the place where Lil Wayne was. And before we realized that, we seen the people that was occupying the vehicle use their telephone quite a few times. I think we heard one siren off in the distance, and that's all it took. We was out of there.
Did he ever make a song about you or dissing you or something?
No, I seen a headline entitled that, but you listen to the whole song, I don't hear no reference, no nothing, so nah.
Oh, okay. He never talked about it?
Nah.
Man, them dudes on the internet do that, man. I seen one time they took 2 dudes and it was like they was on FaceTime with each other.
But they weren't.
But they weren't, bro. So when you're watching this shit, you're thinking like, oh, these dudes are going at it.
I seen people do Kevin Samuels like that. They'll have a clip of him talking, but they'll have him talking to somebody he never spoke to, and like applying some of his most popular little sketches or little segments to some brand new shit that they didn't apply to. I've seen things of that nature. I also saw a Rick Ross and 50 Cent verses on YouTube the other night. And if you read the chat, it took a lot of people some long time to figure out it was some bullshit. It was just somebody who made it. He had the flyer, he had the live stream. He was playing old concerts of theirs back to back like they was doing the songs.
Oh, way.
It was taking people in the comments a long time to figure it out. I like this shit crazy. Yeah, I had about 900 people in there watching the verses too. Yeah.
Man, I mean, yeah.
Interesting time, bro.
That's crazy, man. People will do anything, man.
Anything.